So good morning, everybody. As Dr. Kim said, my name is Jonah, and I'm here to tell you that revenge may not be as bad as we make it seem. Now, from completely accurate depictions of my own sibling rivalry to much more serious events, we can all sort of understand that revenge may not be the best option to take after we've been hurt. You know what, at the very best, we understand it as an unfortunate aspect of our human nature. And of course, we all know that an eye for an eye makes the world go blind. But I wondered, how is this something that is so theoretically bad for us also such a human universal? And so I asked myself, is revenge really as bad as we make it seem? Does an eye for an eye really make the world go blind? And if revenge is so bad, what's motivating us to seek it out? And we can actually use an evolutionary perspective to answer some of these questions. And this perspective tells us that, well, revenge evolved in order to help maintain acceptable social norms. And it does so in a few ways. First, it prevents harm from happening in the first place. This is the idea that somebody's far less likely to mess with you if they know you're going to hit back. Second, it promotes social cooperation. In the event that somebody's being a lazy bum, they're going to be excluded from the group, which is going to make them want to contribute more. And then finally, in the event that harm does occur, it punishes the wrongdoing, making sure that that action is not going to be repeated. So we can really understand revenge as a way to discourage selfish or negative behavior. But that's not the whole story, because there's also an emotional element to it. This is the idea that we really want to get even after we've been hurt. We feel there's injustice done to us, an imbalance of power, and revenge seeks to rectify that imbalance. So, given all this information, we would think that if we use revenge in the right context, in these contexts, that we should feel better. And researchers have thankfully put this idea to the test for me. So the way they study revenge is really using economic group games, which is the idea that you have several individuals who are asked to invest in a central pot. So they'll invest, and at the end of the round, the pot plus a dividend will then be split amongst all the participants. Now, if everybody contributes evenly, well, then everybody should get an equal maximum payoff. But somebody can still earn money even if they don't contribute a damn thing, which is annoying to us, right? And this creates an opportunity for people to act as social loafers. So when researchers run this experiment, they make it look like one of our participants is being a free rider, a social loafer. And this is, it makes us pretty upset. And so at this point, they offer the other participants an opportunity for revenge. But before they do that, they ask these participants, do you think revenge is going to make you feel better? And by and large, people think, I think revenge is going to turn that frown right upside down. So this tells us that there's not only a theoretical basis for revenge, but that we actually expect it to be a rewarding experience. So now the question becomes, well, what actually happens when we get this revenge? So again, our participants are going to be in this economic group game. There's going to be a free rider, which is going to make our participants upset. These participants are then offered one of two options. Either walk away and just let bygones be bygones, or take revenge on the offender. Now, people who decide to walk away, they feel just dandy, no problems whatsoever. But the people who choose to take revenge is not the same story. They show increased negative mood. Not really what we're going for here. How is it that when we're using revenge in these correct contexts, we still end up in a worse mood? Well, it turns out there are actually several reasons. The first of which being, thinking about revenge keeps us anchored to a past situation that hurt us, which means it's going to bring our mood down a lot more. Second, if we've taken revenge, we've probably done something like a little bit not chill, which is going to bring our mood down and again make us feel worse. And finally, if we've taken revenge on somebody, that person probably wants to get back at us. Even if what you think you did was fair, research has shown that the other person probably saw it as extreme, which means they want their revenge, which means we're going to worry a lot. So if revenge makes us feel all this hurt and negative mood, then why do we continue to seek it? Well, again, thankfully, researchers have helped me answer this question, again, with this economic game. In this game, it was the same scenario, and they offered participants an opportunity for revenge. Once they got their revenge, they were then given a letter by the free rider that made them feel better. So now the million-dollar question is, what the hell was in this letter? And it was very simple, actually. It was just saying, I understand why what I did was wrong. So the key element here, the key factor that makes us feel better is not the act of revenge itself, but rather its understanding. Revenge for deterrence is useless if the person doesn't understand why they're being punished. And it doesn't seem like getting even is good enough either. What we want is empathy. So, where does that leave us right now? Well, revenge is capable of doing the things that it was designed to do and promote these social norms. I am not going to recommend to you, however, that you run around hitting people you don't like in the face, because one, I'm told that's weird, and two, as we just learned, there are some serious consequences to revenge. So what I propose to you is this. Next time you want to get back at somebody, see if there's a way to get the understanding that you might be looking for, because to get it through revenge is pretty dangerous. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't look like what we want is really an eye for an eye, but rather for people to see things from our perspective. Thank you.